What happens when NASA starts doubting its most trusted private partner? SpaceX was supposed to take humans back to the moon. Now, NASA is opening the door to other players. What changed? For years, SpaceX has been NASA's golden partner, launching astronauts to the ISS, slashing launch costs, and revolutionizing the rocket industry. So when NASA awarded Elon Musk's company the contract to land humans on the moon under the Artemis III mission, no one was surprised. It was supposed to be a new golden era, the US returning to the moon after more than 50 years, and this time with reusable rockets, new spacesuits, and international collaboration. But things haven't gone as planned. Technical delays, slow progress, growing doubts. Now, in a surprising move, NASA has reopened its Moonlander contract, a clear signal that it may no longer want to bet everything on SpaceX. Meanwhile, China is rapidly advancing its own lunar program and may land humans before the US even gets a chance. This video dives deep into the growing tension behind the Artemis program, the risks NASA is trying to manage, and how a new chapter in the space race, this time with China, is unfolding right before our eyes. Buckle up. The moon race is real, and the clock is ticking. NASA's relationship with SpaceX didn't start with the moon. It started with a leap of faith. In the early 2000s, when the Space Shuttle program was ending, NASA made a bold move. It began outsourcing spaceflight to private companies. Many doubted the idea. Rockets were government business. But Elon Musk had a different vision, one where commercial space could innovate faster and cheaper, and he delivered. SpaceX became the first private company to send cargo, and later astronauts, to the International Space Station. Its reusable Falcon 9 rocket drastically reduced launch costs. NASA's trust in SpaceX grew with each successful mission. So in 2021, when NASA had to choose a partner to build the Human Landing System, HLS, for the Artemis III moon mission, it placed a $2.9 billion bet on SpaceX and its ambitious Starship design, a fully reusable rocket system unlike anything flown before. At the time, the choice was seen as visionary. SpaceX had momentum, it had a proven track record, and Starship promised a revolution in deep space transport. But Starship was, and still is, experimental. NASA took a risk by going all in on a design that hadn't even reached orbit yet. And now, with deadlines slipping and political pressure rising, that decision is under intense scrutiny. The golden partnership that once symbolized the future of American space exploration is now under stress, and the cracks are starting to show. When NASA awarded SpaceX the Human Landing System contract, they knew it was a high-risk, high-reward move. Starship was, and remains, a bold, unproven vehicle. And while SpaceX is known for rapid development, building something for deep space-crewed missions is a whole different game. Several key issues are causing delays. 1. Orbital refueling is still untested. Starship will need to refuel in orbit before heading to the moon. That means multiple tankers must launch, dock, and transfer massive amounts of cryogenic fuel, a complex operation no one has ever done before. Until this system is proven, the entire mission chain is incomplete. 2. No successful full-stack flights. Despite several high-altitude and partial test launches, a full orbital flight of Starship, with a successful return and reuse, has yet to be completed. Each test is progress, but also reveals more engineering challenges. 3. Human-rated systems aren't ready. Starship needs life support, crew controls, and emergency systems for astronauts. These aren't add-ons, they're core to mission safety. So far, these systems haven't been flight tested. 4. Tight timeline, political pressure. Artemis III was originally planned for 2025, then slipped to 2027. Now, even 2028 seems optimistic. NASA is under pressure from lawmakers, budget constraints, and geopolitical urgency, especially as China accelerates. SpaceX's pace is ambitious, but even Elon Musk admits delays are part of the process. Still, ambition doesn't beat deadlines, especially in government programs. NASA is realizing that betting everything on a single provider, especially one using an unproven system, is too risky. By reopening the contract, they're signaling a need for alternatives, just in case Starship isn't ready on time. The space industry celebrates innovation, but in missions like Artemis, it also demands reliability. And right now, SpaceX isn't quite there yet. While SpaceX struggles to prove Starship's readiness, China has been quietly executing a step-by-step lunar strategy, and it's paying off. Over the last decade, the China National Space Administration, CNSA, has steadily advanced its Chang'e program. Starting with orbiters, then landers, then sample return missions, each step has built momentum toward a human lunar mission. Here's what China has already accomplished. Chang'e 3, soft landing on the Moon, 2013. Chang'e 4, first landing on the far side of the Moon, 2019. Chang'e 5, sample return mission, 2020. Next up, crewed lunar landing. According to Chinese officials, China aims to land astronauts on the Moon by 2030, though some experts suggest it could happen as early as 2026 based on their rapid progress. They've already developed a new Long March 10 rocket for lunar launches, revealed designs for a next-gen crewed capsule and lunar lander, started planning a joint China-Russia moon base, International Lunar Research Station. What makes China's approach different? 1. Centralized and consistent. Unlike NASA, which relies heavily on commercial partners, CNSA runs a centralized, state-controlled space program with strict timelines and fewer political disruptions. 2. Step-by-step development. China has taken a conservative, incremental approach, proving each step with robotic missions before moving on to crewed flights. 3. Fewer public announcements, more results. While SpaceX often grabs headlines with ambitious projections, China keeps a lower profile, but delivers quietly and consistently. The geopolitical implications are huge. If China lands astronauts on the Moon before the US returns, it would mark a major shift in space leadership. It's not just a symbolic win, it could impact future lunar resource claims, international prestige, and influence over space governance. NASA knows this. That's why the delays with Artemis, especially those tied to SpaceX, are more than just engineering issues. They're strategic threats. In today's space race, the question isn't just, can we do it? It's, can we do it before someone else gets there first? NASA's decision to reopen the Human Landing System, HLS contract, isn't just a procedural move, it's a powerful signal. Back in 2021, NASA awarded the Lunar Lander contract to SpaceX as the sole provider, citing its lower bid and innovative design. It was a controversial decision. Other competitors, especially Blue Origin, protested, arguing that relying on one company was risky. At the time, NASA defended its decision, pointing to budget limitations and SpaceX's track record. But now, after delays, missed milestones, and increasing pressure from Capitol Hill, NASA is changing course. In late 2025, NASA quietly announced it would reopen bidding for future lunar landing services, specifically for Artemis IV and beyond. This doesn't cancel SpaceX's contract for Artemis III, but it does open the door to new players and backup options. Why does this matter? It signals reduced confidence in SpaceX's timeline. It reintroduces competition and pressure. It offers NASA political cover in case Starship isn't ready on time. Companies like Blue Origin, Dynetics, and Northrop Grumman are likely to re-enter the race. And this time, NASA may spread its bets, funding multiple providers to avoid being cornered by a single delay. For SpaceX, this is a clear wake-up call. Success is no longer guaranteed, and the spotlight can shift quickly. Elon Musk's team now has to prove, not just promise, that Starship will deliver. For NASA, this is about mission assurance. In spaceflight, hope isn't a strategy. And when geopolitical stakes are this high, redundancy is not a luxury. It's a necessity. The moon isn't waiting for anyone, and neither is China. This isn't just about science or exploration anymore, it's about strategy. In the 1960s, the space race was a Cold War battleground. Landing on the moon was a way for the US to assert dominance over the Soviet Union. Today, a similar dynamic is emerging. Only this time, the rival is China. Space isn't just the next frontier, it's the next geopolitical arena. Why does this matter? National prestige. The first country to land astronauts on the moon in the 21st century won't just win bragging rights, it will shape how the world sees leadership in technology, science, and ambition. Strategic control. The moon could serve as a hub for future deep space missions, including Mars. It may also hold valuable resources like helium-3, water ice, and rare minerals. Being there first matters. Norm-setting power. Whoever gets to the moon first can help shape the rules. Space law is still evolving, and early movers have disproportionate influence on how future exploration and exploitation are governed. China is aware of this, and so is NASA. That's why delays, missed deadlines, and over-reliance on a single provider like SpaceX are more than internal program issues. They're global competitive risks. The moon is no longer just a destination. It's a statement of intent and power. SpaceX was supposed to be the game changer, the bold leap forward in spaceflight, and in many ways, it still is. But when deadlines slip and competitors close in, even the most innovative players face pressure. NASA's decision to open the door to other providers isn't a betrayal. It's a survival tactic. The stakes are too high, and the timeline is too short to rely on a single solution. Meanwhile, China is not waiting. Step by step, quietly and efficiently, it's closing the gap. If the US misses this window, it might lose more than just a mission. It could lose momentum, influence, and leadership in space. This isn't just about rockets, it's about reputation, readiness, and who gets to shape the future beyond Earth. So here's the question. Do you still believe SpaceX will be the first to land humans back on the moon? Or is China about to make history? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the race beyond our world.